This is my very first YouTube video of me talking about my journey, how I've become a professional musician. This is my moment where they say you gotta start somewhere and you get only better at it with time. So bear with me here. Here we go. My name is Adam Gay, and I am a professional drummer from the Chicagoland area, and I've been drumming for 16 years. But it's only been 1 year ago since I decided I wanted to take music seriously as a profession and actually make money off of it. I'll tell you a little bit about my backstory. I'll definitely make more videos talking about kind of my journey and where I came from and explaining more of my life. I started playing drums when I was 9 years old as a wee little lad. I played in all the school bands, jazz band, marching band. I didn't start actually having fun with music until I started my first band at 17 years old with my friends, going from playing basements to DIY shows, club shows, weird, sketchy bars in the middle of nowhere, to then eventually landing some small tours, getting to go around the Midwest, around the East Coast, even to Canada twice I've been, getting to sign a record label, shooting music videos. It took a lot of years of learning experience to kind of get to the point where I wanted to take it seriously and actually make money off wanting to actually play drums for a living. I really made the decision when I was 23 years old, about to turn 24. I was looking at what I was doing, just playing in all these local bands and virtually making no money. Any money I would make off a gig would go directly back into gas or food or drinks that night. So at 23 years old, I started painting the mental picture in my head of where I wanted to be at 25. For me at that time, it was making $2,000 a month off music. If I could just make $2,000 consistently a month off music, I would have felt like I had made it to being a professional musician where I can quit all my other jobs and feel like I'm actually making progress into what I want to actually do. So the day I turned 24 started a clock for me where by the time I turned 25, I wanted to be making $2,000 a month. I had to break it down into three categories. The very first thing that I did as soon as I turned 24 is I wanted to start teaching. Prior to then, I only had taught a few like fill-in lessons at the music store I was working at, just working behind the counter for a few years there, and just only did a few lessons when the other instructor was out. For me, I always felt like I was a good player, but awful at explaining how to play things. It definitely took some courage to get to the point where I'm like, all right, I want to dive into teaching for me. That first week of turning 24, I just somehow landed my first private student just out of nowhere. I had a friend that had a daughter that was like 5 years old and wanted to learn drums. So she was my very first private student that got me started, and then only a week after that, I got my first interview at School of Rock. So that was my introduction to teaching. I started just teaching 2 days a week, one day at School of Rock, one day privately, just to kind of get my feet wet. Over the next few months, I was able to kind of build that into a few more days. Realistically, at School of Rock, I was only making $100 per day after taxes, and only 2 days a week there. So that was about $800 a month. And then I had two private students at that time that I was making about $30 a week from each of them. So another $60 a week, which is an extra about $240. So about that 5 month point, I ended up landing another teaching job at Guitar Center. At that 6 month point, I was working 7 days a week. I was still at that music store that I worked at. So I was 2 days a week there, 2 days a week at School of Rock, 2 days a week at Guitar Center, and then one day a week doing private lessons. So I was literally working 7 days a week for about a month straight, and it was busy, but it definitely kept me driven to be like, all right, I'm actually starting to make money off this. At 6 months, I was making just about $1,500 a month just from teaching. So I was able to quit my my counter job at the music store. The start of 2024 was kind of the first mark where I said, all right, this is it. I'm only doing music now. I don't have any other job commitment. I just get to do music. Into the second category of ways that I can make $2,000 in a month. I wanted to play more gigs. I'd started my goal right when I turned 24. I was only playing like maybe a gig a month. With teaching, especially at School of Rock, I learned a whole bunch of new types of songs that you taught School of Rock kids. So kind of songs that people play in cover bands. At that point, I got asked to join a cover band with a bunch of teachers and started going to open mics more. Teaching just in general just like got me to be a way better player, to feeling more comfortable to play gigs. At about that 9-month mark is when I started playing more gigs. And as I started playing gigs, realizing cover bands I can make $100 a gig at least. I got to the point where if I could land 2 gigs a month and make at least $200 to $300, that was huge for me. If I can get $300 a month added on top of that teaching, that put me around $1,800 per month. So I needed to find one more thing to get myself to that $2,000 a month mark. The third thing that I ended up doing was just doing more side work, recording for people, setting up drum sets, just doing anything to kind of help out people. If I can just find a few things, a few small projects a month that I can just help people out with, then that would just put me over the edge. And at that 1 year mark, the month that I want to be making $2,000 was the very first month I had made that $2,000 mark. I don't know how to explain how proud I was of myself for reaching a 1 year goal. I don't know if you guys have ever made it to a 1 year goal, but it is exciting. Just knowing that you set something out a year ago and you made it to that point with steps that you made every single day to get there. So yeah, by that 1 year mark, I was able to be making $1,500 from teaching, about $300 from gigs a month, at least $200 of side work every month, and that just put me over my $2,000 a month, which felt amazing. To go from virtually zero off music to go to $2,000 a month was an awesome way to kind of get my first year in becoming a professional musician. As I got closer to that 1 year goal, that's when I started making more goals for myself. I started wanting to kind of think more ahead in the future. My current goal that I'm on right now is to be making $4,000 a month by the time I turn 26. And I'll explain kind of that more in detail in another video. I really hope that this video ends up inspiring all the people that really want to make a living in music but don't know how. I hope this helped you. Between teaching, playing gigs, and doing any side work you can for people, it's not that hard to make at least $2,000 a month to get you started. Everybody has different goals and different ways of getting there. I'm going to keep posting about my journey and try my best to educate you guys with all the knowledge I know of how to make it in the music business. So keep following along. Steezy Boy Drums. Down below, my name's Adam Gay, and I hope everyone has a great rest of your day and journey. Follow for more. Thank you. Bye-bye.